Good morning if you are just now joining us. We are going live right now to give you an update for your 21Alive Fastcast on how things are looking as you head out the door. It is just a nasty cold start to the day, and on top of it, we do have very slick conditions as you're heading out the door. And that's where we begin with your Fastcast, talking the latest on what you can expect. It is just going to be busy this morning as you are heading out the door. Hi, I'm 21Alive First Alert meteorologist Liz Braden. And when it comes to your forecast today, we are really seeing a very slow start to your day, a little bit of snow on the way, but of course the biggest story is just the lingering aftermath that we have coming off of yesterday. We have 21Alive First Alert reporter Ryan Costello out live in our storm tracker, and I'm going to get to him in just a little bit. In fact, I'm going to have our digital producer Cece send him a text to start rolling, and we'll talk about the forecast here first. So here's the look at satellite and radar right now as you're heading out the door. We do have a little bit of lake effect snow that's already coming in for some northern communities. This is mainly going to be an issue for places like Shipshewana, Mishawaka, South Bend, and that's all pushing off to the east. So some of us will see a few light flurries here and there, but nothing too significant on top of what we saw over the weekend. So that is some good news, but still this morning, it is a rough start to your day, giving you the yellow and the red light as you head out the door because most roads are looking pretty rough. And it's because of all the snow we saw. In case you haven't heard, this is how much snow we had. In fact, Fort Wayne broke a record, over 8 inches of snow here in Fort Wayne, reaching 8.7 inches of snow. Leo Cedarville about 8 inches, Convoy, Ohio 8 inches, Hicksville about 7.5 inches. So this has been really messy, and of course it makes a big difference for your commute, and that's where I want to pick up in the forecast. So let's go ahead and take you live out onto the roads. This is the 21Alive First Alert Storm Tracker live out on some of these neighborhoods here in Fort Wayne. And you can see that slow roll that we have in store as you're heading out the door right now. This is what it looks like on those side streets and neighborhoods, taking it slow. Things are just sloppy. And really the big focus for the plow crews right now are those main roads and those highways, which at least have had some progress from yesterday. In some parts of the roads, you can actually quite literally see pavement, which at this point is an improvement. But when you start to get into these side streets and neighborhoods, that's where things are just still needing continuous rounds of the plows coming through. In fact, you can already see it's making it a little bit more difficult with some of these cars that are parked up on the side of the roads, almost making it to where it's more like a 1 lane instead of a 2 lane as you're driving. So it's going to be very cautious as you're heading out. Now, when it comes to the rest of the day today, we're not just talking about those road conditions, but we're also focusing on the cold, which is going to be a key part of the forecast going forward of just how bitter cold it is. These are your current wind chills as you're heading out the door right now. Anything from the negative single digits to the negative double digits. And that's really going to keep up over the next several days, with wind chills expected all week long to range as low as the negative teens to the negative 20s. I know a lot of schools are either on 2-hour delay or switched over to e-learning. If that's the case for your kids, if they're trying to get out in the snow, just know that it is going to be one of those days where they really need to limit how long they're outside playing in the snow. And as you're getting ready to head out the door, make sure you take the time to layer up and just give yourself more time in general. I want to show you some of the travel statuses we have across the region right now, which most of us are about the same, anything from the orange to the red, which the orange means a travel watch, meaning that it's more recommended that only essential vehicles get out on the roads, and the red is more of a requirement that it's just essential vehicles. And I say watches and warnings for here in Northeast Indiana because that's what we call our categories. But in Northwest Ohio and just Ohio in general, they're labeled as snow emergencies. And you'll notice in Northwest Ohio, there are more red than orange. And Van Wert, no, you're not experiencing no snow at all. What that means is that we just haven't received that report on what your snow emergency status is. Just treat it the same as your neighbors, which Paulding is a level 2 snow emergency and Mercer's a level 3 snow emergency. So there will likely be some very difficult travel conditions as as you are heading out the door this morning. I want to show you some of the INDOT cameras right now. And normally when we have snowy situations, I say stick to these main roads and these highways and you'll be in good shape. But that's not really the case everywhere. Yes, this is significantly better than some of those neighborhood roads, which I can show you one more time. There's the look at those neighborhood roads. But these main highways are really still having some deceptively slick spots. And that's the big thing. Those on and off ramps and those bridges could be slick and there could be some big slowdowns. So don't be overambitious. Really give yourself plenty of time. Monitor school delays and any cancellations. In fact, we already have several into the newsroom. You can see that on our weather page under the closings and delay tab. So certainly a lot going on this morning. I will leave you with that live look at Storm Tracker. It is going to be a very slow morning as you head out the door. Just make sure that you're taking it slow, giving yourself plenty of time, and brush that snow off the top of your car. If you left your car out over the past day or so, you're probably going to have to do some shoveling and you're going to have to do some scraping off for that as well. Have a great rest of your day today. We will see gradual improvements throughout the day, but as mentioned, it takes some time. So give those plows plenty of space and time to work on the roads.